Alright, first, in what will probably be a series of response videos, I'll post some sort of acknowledgement that this is almost a separate kind of video on the virtual reality subject. Alright, so this guy, all guy, an intelligent guy, but a little wacky. Okay, yeah, he doesn't have Einstein hair, but there's something frizzy inside his brain. But anyway, 63-part video series, and so I've been through this first 6. I mean, look, he did the work. He's talking intelligent-ish kind of stuff. Got the clips, did the editing. I mean, I got nothing but respect for the work and the effort. I'm not charmed by the content. Right, only been through 6 of them. And this is kind of heavy crap he's talking, so I got to think about what he's saying, and I got to take notes and all this crap, and it's ended up being a lot of work. And so in the first 6 videos, he has not bent a neuron in my head, not one. He hasn't even gotten one a little bit saying, "Oh yeah, that's a good point." Nothing. I mean, nothing. The same old fucking things I've been over again, over. And so we'll go down this list, but this is not looking good. So yeah, I'm not gonna, this is real leisure time stuff, so maybe I'll do a video once a week and get through 6 of these, so maybe by the middle of the summer we'll finish the conversation. I mean, I'm tempted just to get to the punchline, the summation video, and beat the shit out of that. I don't like his attitude either. He's really arrogant. All right, he's an intelligent guy, but all his intelligence is up his own ass. And it's just such a... Well, anyway, I'll just get to the point. I wrote really crude notes, and that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to argue all this, what professor says what fucking experiment's going on where, about some kind of other kind of bullshit. And, you might start bringing up Asian flu or some kind of other bullshit that has nothing to do with the subject. Alright, so first off, I think your understanding of a zero-sum game is flawed. The premise of that argument is that by nature, we don't need to be here, okay? I mean, extract us from the universe will not weep. There'll be no unsatisfied need. There'll be no deprivation to fix. There'll be nothing that needs done. There'll be no desire to satisfy. Alright, that's argument number 1. Argument number 2, the way we are structured, the way we are built, desire is essentially a deprivation. Okay, it's a somewhat pleasant deprivation, but it's nonetheless a deprivation. And if it bends too far if it becomes too strong, it can become a seriously uncomfortable feeling, sensation. So yes, it has a flavor of positive, but that's because of the way we've been built. We've been built to run on desire. So of course that gasoline would be tasty to us because we've been built to run on it. It is the key mechanism of our motivation now. We're no longer robotic little organisms. We have been nuanced by this psychology, by this capacity to feel. And you're just discounting that's the ball game, though, is this word deprivation, is the word, the creation of the need in the first place. And that's why it's a zero-sum game, because if you just don't create the need, you have no deprivation to satisfy. Okay, the only positives in the universe are the eliminations of negatives, and I stand by that statement, and you've done nothing to erode it whatsoever. That is the nature of this beast. We are essentially attempting to erase negatives, and that's where we derive our pleasure. We satisfy a deprivation. Alright, so, and it's not an individual thing, it is a collective thing. Consciousness as a net entity. But anyway, what you said, yeah, no win. Sorry, fail. Educating people. This is some sort of alternative. We create these educated people, they won't need as much, and they'll function so much more efficiently, and then we don't need virtual reality. Totally, I think, unrealistic, number 1. Number 2, it is counterintuitive to what the natural process is. It's denying this fact that we are by nature individuals. this education would just basically be attempting to step forward us, to make us more mechanical, more consistent, more standardized. So you screw individuality in that sort of situation, and it just ends up being a conditioning. It's just, you might as well just call it conditioning or reconditioning. That's what education ends up being, when your intent is to create a certain outcome. So I just think it's just totally unrealistic. I don't think you can do it politically or economically or in any sense of the way. I don't think you're ever going to get to that point where you're going to master race us into being benevolent human beings. I just don't see it happening. Good luck. I'm for it. I'm not against it, but part of me though says, what's the point then? If you're just going to create 6 billion identical little humans, then you might as well knock it down to 3 billion, or you might as well knock it down to 2 billion, or you might as well knock it down to 1 billion, or you might as well knock it down to 1. You might as well maybe not bother at all, because part of what we sense about our value is the fact that we are individuals and that we have all these individual needs and wants and desires and ways of interacting in the environment. And that's why virtual reality is the answer. It's because we no longer need this complex infrastructure. Each individual can have it his way, as the Burger King commercial would say. Every individual can have the world as they want it, as they need it to be, as they desire it to be. And there's no conflict. There's no cultural conflict. Nothing to suppress their comfort level. They can tailor the world to their psychology rather than attempting, which I think is unrealistic, to tailor psychology to the world. Alright, so no win on that one. Asteroid crap. Alright, yeah, we went over this with Tommy and these other jerks. Look, I mean, what don't you get about cybernetic technology, or whatever you want to call it, robots? What don't you get about it? Right now, somebody in underground in the middle of the United States is flying an airplane in Iraq. Right now. Right now, there's somebody doing complex procedures on eggs, little tiny human eggs, and they're using machines, okay, that aren't fingers, okay? They're using machines that will inject the needle and pull out the DNA and do all this. They're doing it mechanically, okay? Not directly, mechanically. There's nothing that we couldn't do from virtual reality that we could do in the real world. There's no limitation. It doesn't stop us from doing something, because this stuff, our little animated sensual organ bullshit, isn't very effective anymore, okay? An F-15 is a lot more effective than we are, and as we've demonstrating, is we don't need a human being in that airplane anymore. Okay, and likewise, we don't need human beings to launch missiles at asteroids. We don't need human beings to build antennas in outer space. We don't need any of that crap anymore. Right now, the space shuttle, the space station, has a robot outside that does a lot of the outside work. They just say, okay, robot, go over there, do this, pull out this, hammer that, and that's it. They don't have to be outside anymore. Alright, so then game over on that one. You lose. It's just bullshit. We're just as capable of maintaining our world from inside as we would be from outside. That is a non-issue. Completely irrelevant. Alright, then you brought up robot waste, which was really idiotic. I mean, come on. It's just so stupid. That's like... There's nothing, absolutely nothing. We see it now in technology. It's getting more and more easier. It's modularized, okay? So, I mean, yeah, if a robot malfunctions, it'd just be thrown into a dicer, so to speak. It would just strip off the parts, replace the parts that are broken, put the thing back in service. Alright, just rebuild it again out of the spare parts. And then the broken parts, yeah, you smash them and use them as raw materials again. There's just no problem recycling the servants, the robots that would be needed, the maintenance devices, the whatever you want to call it. And there's just nothing. There's no obstacle to that. It's well within our reasonable imagination, and I'm not going to get into every detail of it, but it's just stupid. Okay, so, why waste, you see, that's just wasting my fucking time. I mean, you can't apply that much imagination if you're going to make an argument out of something that lame. You're just wasting my goddamn time.